Hello, welcome back. This is Kenshin1913 and we are Let's Playing Syberia. In the last episode we made it to Bernstadt, and now we're here at the university. We're gonna check out the university, as some people have summoned us. As you can see, there's mammoths and saber-toothed tiger things and all kinds of shit. I have no idea where I'm going. All I know is I gotta stop and meet a professor somewhere. Oh no. No, I don't want to meet you guys yet. These are the guys we want to meet, but not ready to do that yet. Alright. Let's come down here. What's over here? What's over here? Yeah, as you can see, this guy's got a pretty good one. Alright, we're in the library. I think this is where we're gonna meet somebody. Nope. Just people studying.
Excuse me.
Shh.
Can I disturb you a second?
No.
You could be a little bit nicer about it.
Keep quiet. In case you haven't noticed, we're somewhere that requires silence and tranquility.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother talking to the other guys. They're a bunch of dicks. What if I need to pick up that purple book there? Run, Kate. What the hell is the... Am I just running around in a circle? Apparently I am. Who the hell is this guy? Back this way. How about up these stairs? Oh no, you can't go up them. There we go, up these ones. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how we're seeing all these mammoth symbols all over the place, you know? Hans was obsessed with it. With mammoths. Who the hell is the guy? Come on. No one's here. What the hell? Where is this professor?
No point. It's locked.
Oh man, locked. So yeah, this is the university. You can't talk to that kid, he's sleeping. Or guy, I don't know, he could be a guy. Okay. So it's pretty quiet in this university. Let's come this way. I guess the professor's over here. Here we go. Hello, Professor. Doctor.
Excuse me. Sir, please, just a moment.
Yes, what is it? I'm not deaf, you know.
I am sorry to disturb you in your work, sir, but...
This young Mammothus primigenius is barely 40,000 years old. Fantastic, wouldn't you say, miss?
Yes. Probably.
What do you mean, probably?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's not an
You don't
archaeologist.
know? Oh, you don't know, I see. What can I do for you, my dear child?
Let's introduce ourselves.
To tell you the truth, I don't know very much about mammoths, and I'm not here as a student. In fact, I'm a lawyer.
Lawyer.
It's all right. Nobody is perfect. All the same, the study of the Pleistocene period is fascinating.
I'm sure it is, but I'm sorry to say my current mission is totally monopolizing my time. Another time, maybe.
Ah, that's what they all say. But anyway, let me present myself. I'm Cornelius Ponce, Emeritus Professor and Lecturer at the University of Bernstadt. I'm proud to say that I'm head of the Department of Paleozoology at our university.
Oh, nice.
Kate Walker. Pleased to meet you. It wasn't really my intention to stop off here, but I'll confess, This university is really very impressive.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
Ah, indeed. There's such a tradition of learning here. And so much knowledge, a real depth of culture, intelligence, and gray matter. I myself did my studies here and never left.
Wow.
Actually, I'm here because I've been summoned by the rectors of the university.
Oh, I see. You must have made a mistake on your enrollment form.
Oh, no. I haven't come here to study. I have an important matter of inheritance to attend to. I have to find the heir.
The
And you
hair.
hope you will find him here?
Maybe.
I'm not altogether sure. But you see, my train broke down coming into Barrackstadt station.
In that case, my dear, you must come to one of my lectures. Here's a question for you. Do you know what the Proboscidean order is?
No
The
idea.
Probo-Whatian?
Ah, you see? There are gaps in your knowledge that need refreshing.
I don't really care about
I
gaps.
feel I've lost my way a little here. I could really do with your help.
Yeah, help me, please.
Oh, my dear child, you've chosen your moment. I absolutely must finish off my lecture for this afternoon.
Oh, man.
It's a lecture about mammoths?
Oh, yes and no. More specifically, it is about their migration. Do excuse me, I need to concentrate.
No. I'm speaking to you more.
To tell you the truth, I'm looking for Mr. Hans Vorarlberg. He's the sole heir of a very unusual factory. My company is in charge of negotiations for the takeover of this factory. At last word, he was living in Syberia. So, as soon as my train is ready, I'll be continuing my journey eastwards.
Yeah, we gotta head to
Siberia.
Syberia.
Siberia. But what was it you said again?
Hans
Said what?
Vorarlberg.
You mentioned a name. The person you are looking for.
Vorarlberg. Hans Vorarlberg.
Ba-da-ba-da.
Do you know him?
Hans Vorarlberg. How could I forget him? Such an extraordinary fellow. So inventive. We shared a passion for mammoths, you know, and we bonded over this passion.
Oh, really?
Without it, I confess, I would have had little to do with an odd, ageless retard like Hans.
Oh, retard. Whoa,
At the
whoa.
time, we were both students. Well, sort of. Put it this way. Hans had special permission to attend paleontology lectures. You see, he didn't really have the necessary qualifications. In exchange, Hans did a few odd jobs around the university.
Oh, yeah. I saw
Your
some
Hans
automatons.
Vorarlberg sounds uncannily like the one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, my dear. Hans was above all questions of money and business. Just to imagine him running a factory, perish the thought.
Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
Yeah, where is
He
he?
was always a mystery to me. He never said very much, and never quite seemed to grasp what you said to him. He expressed himself instead through his incredible mechanical contraptions. His inventions, I admit, have been much appreciated by the university. The few times we really did talk, it was about his strange interest for mammoths and a doll. Some sort of doll that obsessed him.
Yeah, it was a mammoth doll.
Doll, you say?
Yes.
Barbie
He
mammoth
kept
doll.
talking about it. One day he described it to me. A sort of children's toy. A miniature mammoth mounted by a mout. It appears he found it in a cave not far from his home.
Yeah, I found it.
The event all sounds very dramatic. His account was slightly confused, but it awoke a great interest in me.
What do you mean?
To my knowledge, there was only one tribe who made figurines featuring a mout, and that tribe is the Yukols. They live in the farthest reaches of Siberia, and for them, the dolls constituted a sacred object, illustrating one of their central legends. How such a doll made the journey from the frozen Siberian north to a cave in the French Alps is a mystery to me. Even today, it is beyond my comprehension.
Have you considered that Hans Vorarlberg was maybe making it up?
Maybe Hannibal?
You said yourself he didn't seem to have all his mental facilities intact.
Yeah.
No, that's impossible. Hans couldn't invent a story like that. The doll is a sacred part of the Syberia legend. He described it to me in exact detail. Siberia itself is a chimera that paleontologists of the world are very fond of pursuing.
So Syberia is with a Y.
Arriving in
is fake?
Barrackstadt is an amazing experience. I've never seen such a station.
You came by train?
Yes, in a kind of clockwork train with a spring mechanism that winds down
Regular.
regularly.
You mean you drive a train? Young ladies of today never cease to amaze me.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, no. I'm not the engineer. The train's engineer is actually an automaton. I am sorry. All this probably
Yeah,
sounds very strange.
Hans
A
Wahlberg.
clockwork train, driven by an automaton. I once knew a man long ago who could have invented such a train. It was he who designed the bandstand in the main square.
Yep, so Hans
To
did that
think
too.
that he was even capable of creating such a gadget. He was astounding, a true genius. But oddly, at the same time, he was also almost a child.
Yeah, well, that's
It was as
happens.
if his mental and physical evolution had definitively halted at the age of 10. Can you believe that?
No, I can believe
Yes. I think I can believe that. At least I'm beginning to.
it. Yeah, for sure, Zeus.
My train stopped in a peculiar aviary. It's very odd. A lot of bird species seem to seek harbor there.
Yeah, that's true.
Ornithology is far from being my favorite subject, but I must concede that the station is the pride of the university. It was initially intended for teaching purposes, but then birds started arriving from all around the world. It seems that there are still rare species breeding there and flourishing.
Yeah.
Are there? Can you give me an example?
I have been told about a kind of bird with peculiar habits. Let's see now, the Amazon cuckoo. That's
Yeah,
right.
we heard about
but,
that.
I'm so foolish. I can't remember what was so special about it. Just that its behavior is very peculiar.
The Amazon? Where's the Amazon? What is the Amazon?
Isn't that Amazon?
I'm sorry, my dear, but one cannot learn everything in a lifetime. Specialization is the key to real knowledge. Why don't you pay a visit to our library?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there we can pick up some stuff.
Professor, how do I say this? You see, I didn't think I'd need a lot of money when I set out. And it turns out I need money after all. It's a delicate matter, I know, but I was wondering if you could
Yeah,
help
you
me
got
out.
$100 you can loan
My
me?
dear, it would be a pleasure. But you see, I barely have enough myself to cover my meager expenditure on what I'm paid by the university.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend or...
However, if we look at the example of Hans, it is true that our university always rewards people who perform some service for it. This is our dear rector's jurisdiction, however.
All right, well, I'll have to go talk to these jerk-offs.
I'll leave you in peace. I hope I haven't disturbed you too much.
All right, so
Sorry? No, not at all, my dear child.
All right, so what we need to do is go back to the library. I think it was right over here. Go in the library. Climb the ladder, get a book. I think the ladder was over here. Climb the ladder. You can do it, Kate. You can do it. I'm gonna get a book about mushrooms. One of these books. One of these books here. This one. The Illustrated Dictionary of Plants and Mushrooms. This one, Yaga cola, is a mushroom without blah blah blah. It's a member of the family, edible, native Amazonian. It teaches the Yamacola special substances. Yada yada yada. It's dried and ground in a powder consumed before hunt chem. Its effect is instantaneous. So yeah, we gotta worry about this one. So we gotta get this mushroom for some reason. I'm not sure. But there we go. Alright, on the bottom right table. Alright, let's come this way. Run, Kate, run. Run your ass off. Your sweet, sweet booty. She knows how to walk. Come on, come on, come on. On the goddamn stairs. This book. Let's pick it up. Stick it in there. The Amazon, Memories of an Expedition. So yeah, these are the red birds that you need to know. They eat Amazonian food, which is that mushroom. They reproduce by doing something, I don't know. They do nasty things. Look at these. Look at these nasty cuckoos. And then they eat berries and stuff. Alright, so now we got that book. Let's go. Now let's go talk to the rectors finally. These guys are pretty cool. Some of them, if you play like older point-and-click games, their voices will be kind of familiar, I guess. Now we go. Finally head over here and talk to these guys. These three dudes who look kind of similar. One's got a Hitler stash.
Good day to you, gentlemen.
Well,
Tell
not
me,
really.
young lady,
They got
to
good
what do we owe
stashes.
this pleasure?
Please do be brief. We do not have very much time on our hands.
As rectors of this university, we have serious matters to attend to, and our time is precious.
Precious.
I have heard you wish to meet the owner of the train that is currently in your station. May I know the reason for your summons?
We are surprised that your train has not yet left, miss. The situation is most regrettable.
The rules do clearly state that trains are meant to come and go and not remain stationary at a platform.
Trains should first stop, then subsequently leave. That is the rule.
We agree then, dear colleagues, that what we're dealing with is deviant behavior.
I guess.
This matter really is cause for concern.
It's a clockwork train, you see? So it needs winding up again. Unfortunately, there is no equipment in the station to do this.
A clockwork train? That's strange.
How very quaint. You mean it's some sort of mechanical toy?
Yeah, kinda.
You are causing a hindrance to us, miss.
I am very hopeful that I will find what I need along the wall.
Yeah.
The
They're gonna get
wall?
Miss, that really is not a suitable place for you to go.
this. Yeah, White Walkers
Especially for a young lady.
You see, miss, we freely admit that every day we praise the existence of that particular edifice. We owe the integrity of our dear university and the fine education it provides to the wall.
It protects us from harm and invasion from the unknown.
and all. Sure does.
May God protect us from what is beyond those ramparts, miss. Please believe me.
I don't have any choice. I must continue my journey.
Such a decision is a correct one since it's in line with regulations.
Thus, your train will indeed be able to leave.
And consequently cease to obstruct our station.
Alright, well, let's talk to him.
I haven't introduced myself. My name is Kate Walker.
Walker, haven't we already had a Miss Walker? Ethnology Masters, September 1953, if my memory serves me correctly.
Perfectly well, my dear colleague. But if I may be so bold, it was a Mr. Walker and not a Miss. It was Bill Walker, sat this June 68 exams. The impudent fool turned up for the oral assessment in jeans, flouting strict internal regulations which explicitly state the required uniform for the occasion.
Pure incitement. It was scandalous. Sadly, we have seen worse since. Young people lack all respect of traditional values.
Who cares?
Tradition, young lady. One must always uphold tradition.
What are we, Fiddler on the Roof here?
You see, I didn't actually intend to stop here, but the springs of my train gave up, you see?
No, not really. You mean to say you're not a student?
Nope.
You have arrived a little late in the term, miss. Enrollment for this year has already terminated.
But as rectors of this university and therefore representatives of its highest authority, we could bend the rules a little,
Right,
if you
'cause I'm
like.
a pretty girl.
You don't understand. I'm a lawyer from New York, or rather Valladolid more precisely. My client wants to buy out an old mechanical toy factory, but its heir isn't actually dead and is living somewhere in Syberia. I've got to get to him to sign the sales contract.
Yes.
You see?
Not really. This is a most peculiar tale.
Yes, it is.
A kerfuffle of the highest order.
We have an excellent law school, if you should ever change your mind.
Can you possibly help me out here?
Yeah.
Miss, your insistence is almost verging on indecency.
What the
We
hell?
cannot constantly be at your disposal. We have many other requests to attend to.
You can help.
If you don't mind, could you not disturb us all the time? Thank you.
Oh man, you're mean.
Does the name Hans Vorarlberg mean anything to you by chance?
Ah, one of the brightest, most idealistic intellects to have graced our university. Hans Vorarlberg. I remember speaking to him once. I was still a student at the time. He just stared at me, lost in thought for a while. He scarcely ever said a word. But how can one forget him?
Idealistic? I'll grant you that. But bright? Oh, don't go too far. He was completely incapable of passing any exams. All he ever did was to sit in on lessons, and not many of them either. Paleontology, mainly. He had an unhealthy passion for mammoths, which matched the state of his intellect perfectly. That is to say, prehistoric.
Interesting.
Prehistoric? How dare you? A little far-fetched, maybe. But he did have flashes of intellectual brilliance, comprehensible only to high-minded scholars who hold no score by appearances. My dear colleague, your hasty conclusions are somewhat cavalier.
My assessment is wholly accurate.
This guy's
The
talk
boy
a lot,
was
huh?
a little odd. You must concur if my father, who was rector of the university at the time, had not shown great indulgence towards him. Hans Vorarlberg would have never attended this establishment.
What about the bandstand, then? Is that the work of a deranged mind?
Yeah, he was
Even
good.
after all these years, you are still jealous of it.
My dear colleagues, I beseech you, let's show some decorum. We have a visitor. What do you want with Hans Vorarlberg, miss? Are you a member of his family?
No, not at all. I'm looking for him to clear up an inheritance matter. Is he still here?
What? Here? At the university? No, not at all. He left a long time ago. Yes, a very long time ago. The very year I was nominated to this position, in fact. Almost 50 years ago already.
Jeez.
The poor soul moved on once he learned all he needed to know about mammoths.
Ah, this establishment was never quite the same after his departure, it must be said.
Alright,
You mean
cool.
to say it was never as bad? All that oddball brought to this university was his misplaced fantasies.
Gentlemen, let's try to retain the calm and level-headedness that befits our position.
You guys are very angry.
Excuse me.
Miss, we find ourselves terribly put out by the presence of your train in our station and by its recurrent immobility.
Indeed, the situation is very regrettable.
Yes.
Your huge locomotive is very cumbersome.
Very cumbersome.
A train should first stop, then subsequently leave. That is the rule.
Usually. Anyways, let's talk to you about birds.
That idea of the station aviary is really very original.
It's the pride of our university. One of the specialties taught here is zoology, you see, and more particularly, ornithology. Proper study and instruction should not be limited to books. Observation of living matter is indissociable
Yeah,
from
but this guy's
theoretical
voice
questions.
is Ali from
It contains
King's
some
Quest
very
6,
rare specimens that
the,
have been brought back from far away, exotic
bookkeeper.
countries, especially for our university, by the world's most intrepid explorers.
Do you remember Alexander Valenbois
No.
and his peculiar bird?
Absolutely. His gift produced some very embarrassing long-term consequences.
Talking about the cuckoos.
A poison chalice, indeed. It must be said, the situation could have been much worse, however.
Oh, yes, it could have been terribly problematic.
Alright.
You wouldn't know if there is any Forest Sauvignon here in Barrackstadt, would you?
Absolutely.
Is that wine?
When he says absolutely, he means, of course, absolutely none.
What we mean, of course, is that we are absolutely positive there is no Forest Sauvignon here in Barrackstadt.
Sauvignon, Pignon.
Really? Are you sure? Because I read in a book that Barrackstadt possesses a number of plants. I wouldn't mind getting a hold of some if possible.
Yeah.
Out
drink
of the
it.
question, miss.
The assistant rector means to say that our priority is for you to remove your train from our station. Your research will have to wait until your next stop.
Oh, come on.
Yes, that's right. Your train must leave the station immediately, so please refrain from wasting our time in needless visitations.
I'm just asking
Don't forget the
questions.
regulations, miss. Don't forget them. Trains should first stop, then
Yes, yes.
subsequently leave. And quickly.
Yeah, well. Sometimes that can happen.
Some sailors have agreed to tow the train, but I don't have enough money to pay them. I was wondering if you could help me out
It's a good thing you ask about this.
for a while.
Now these guys are going to talk about...
I could work for the money.
Yeah, work for it.
Please wait, miss. We have certain confibulations to attend to.
That is right. We must confibulate between ourselves. A collegiate decision must be taken.
Yes.
I hope that we are not indisposing you in any
You
way.
kind of are.
Why not?
If it helps us get rid of that train.
My word, that is a fine idea.
What do you have in mind, gentlemen?
When you arrived here, you must have noticed a splendid bandstand which honors the main university courtyard.
A unique piece of mechanical craftsmanship which no longer works, alas.
So you want me to get
Why,
it
yes,
working?
we have very moving memories of its melodies. We're prepared to offer you a financial reward if you can set it working again.
All right, I can do that.
With pleasure. What do I have to do?
Unfortunately, my dear, time and rust have taken their toll on this university, and our automatons no longer have a spring in their step. You are going to have to be resourceful.
All right.
To tell you the truth, there are a number of complex mechanisms here in Barrackstadt, and it would appear that we have unfortunately lost their operating instructions.
Your train, however, is an extremely ingenious invention, so you should be no stranger to complex mechanisms, should you? We are therefore counting on your ingenuity, miss.
I hope that I can show myself worthy of your faith in me, gentlemen.
Well, my dear colleagues, one more university matter nicely tied up.
All right, so that's about it.
Here we are, busy chatting, and look at the clock. It's tea time.
Tea.
Already?
I like some.
My word, doesn't time fly by?
Thank you for a charming visit, miss.
And thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, so now we have to fix the thing to get $100 for the tow. There's a lot of little things we gotta do, but in the next episode, we'll start doing them things. So this has been Kenshin 1913. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.